Bring back the 80s. Bring back the 90s. So many say. Some people just miss being a kid or a teenager, like I was in that time. But some people also have very selective memory. The cost of living was a lot lower than it is now. I admit I miss some of the architecture. I admit that I miss the way some of the infrastructure looked. But as far as conveniences go, no, I do not. I'll tell you, I do not miss the idea of getting a smog check and then having to go to the DMV, the Department of Motor Vehicles, having to stand in line for a couple hours just to say my car is producing no smog. I admit too, since the 80s and 90s, I have learned a lot about people, about icons that I held so high, that I revered almost like idols, only to come to learn they're three-dimensional people like myself. Some of them are even pretty disgusting, but most of them are just average people. Actually, nearly all of them are just average. I do not miss mixed tapes. A playlist is so much easier to make. The fact that I can watch my favorite scenes of my favorite movies of just about any era on my phone while I'm riding a bus or in a minivan or just waiting in a cafe for a friend. That says a lot. That's a hell of a lot better than having to go home, put in a VHS tape, fast forward to my favorite scene, rewind. I do miss going to video stores such as Blockbuster, Hollywood Video, but that's more of a cultural thing. It's so much easier that I can rent a movie right from my phone and put on my smart TV. I also think about long distance. The fact that I can call somebody from either Thailand or the United States to somewhere like Bhutan, Ghana, Kenya, somebody in Germany, and pay the same price if I'm using certain apps. That was unheard of. My grandparents lived only 25 miles away, and yet when I talked to them on the phone as a kid, my parents told me to mind the time because of long distance calling. The music, well, any given day, I love the music of 80s and 90s much more than today. Today, I just hear noise for the most part. Probably just getting old. Something else. I tend to read a lot of books. When I was younger, that could eventually become a burden to me. Why? Because after I was done reading them, they took up space. If I never wanted to read them again, I had to figure out what to do with them. Now, I can read them off a tablet. I read on average 20 to 30 books a year. I'm bragging, I know, but that's a lot better than buying one book after another, taking up space, and then sometimes even having to pay to get rid of them. Today's times are much better. I like that I can talk with people at any time of the day, anywhere in the world. And like I say, I like that I can still see more of people for who they are. Is a part of it age? Yes, but that's also social media combined. I know most people complain about social media. For me, it's a double-edged sword. Yes, people can figure out what you're doing a lot easier. Yes, sometimes people judge you or misjudge you, but it also gives you a better idea on who someone is, or at least what they believe. As people also get to learn what I believe, what I think. So would I trade today's times to live in the 80s and 90s again? No. I would not want to be a kid again. I would not want to be a teenager again. Some of my tastes have remained the same and some have not. But I am happy to live past that era. I'm happy to live in an age of information, and I'm happy to be an adult in these times. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Peace.